Hi there, I'm Budda and you're watching Dr. Guitar, a show for all you guitarists out there. In this week's episode, I'm stating that fuzz is all you need. So if you're looking for a drive pedal, for an overdrive, a distortion of fuzz, fuzz will do it all with the guitar volume and the pedal. It's one of those pedals I would use even if it doesn't have the on-off switch and the knobs, because I set them all to max. I usually set them all to max volume and fuzz. And I just play with my guitar volume, with the tone knob and the pickup selector. But usually the pickups and the volume, it's all I do. Today I have 4 fuzzes. I have 2 new fuzzes, the Russ Effects Purple Face and the Jam Pedals Fuzz Face. They are 2 new pedals, 2 new Fuzz Faces. Really, really, really great. And then I have my trusty Analogman Sunface BC 183 and the Axis Fuzz, the Roger Mayer Axis Fuzz. Roger Mayer was a guy that invented a lot of pedals with Hendrix and with Jimmy Page and David Gilmour, but he developed a lot of pedals for Hendrix, for Hendrix to use in his rig. The Analogman is the only one here that it isn't germanium fuzz, it is a silicone fuzz, so it's a little different from the rest, but nonetheless is a fuzz face. And then we have the Purple Face and the Fuzz Face, which are very different from each other too, but they are all in the same realm. And what I'm wanting to do with this episode is to let you know a thing. It took me a long time to figure it out, but fuzz can be very helpful. So let's first hear all the fuzzes, full on guitar on 10. Purple Face. And the Jam Pedals Fuzz Face. So they all sound a little different from each other, but they are all similar in tone. What I get, I'm having here the Sunface and the Roger Mayer just for comparison, but let's test the new pedals, the Purple Face, for example, how it cleans up. So you will hear me playing and I will be getting the volume on the guitar down and down and down. So sometimes if you have a fuzz face, usually with this kind of overdrive, you will be getting a very squished, very compressed, and almost you can't hear the pick attack if you have everything on full. And a thing that took me a long time to figure out is that if you turn off the knob just like from 9 to 10 or sometimes even to 9.5, you will get a lot more pick attack. Depending on the fuzz and on the guitar, it will clean a little, but not too much. It will still sound like a fuzz, but with a little more pick attack. So it's on 9 right now. Let's hear it through all the fuzzes, how they clean up on 9. you hear little differences, and fuzzes are very finicky depending on the guitar you're using, the cables, the other pedals in the chain, the amp you're using. That's why I usually use the Lone Star, because it is a great platform for pedals. It doesn't make any pedal sound bad when it shouldn't. Okay, so let's go through the nuances of tones you can get. You can get fuzz, very compressed, very squished. You can get a very simple, clean, basic tone. You can get an overdrive, a distortion, all with a pedal. It will never be tight. This is the thing about fuzz. Fuzz is not tight, especially in the bottom end. So we'll hear the sound crep up, but it's the thing I really like, and it sounds like an old school amp creeping up, like my Supros, for example. It doesn't sound tight like a Mesa Boogie or like an overdrive pedal, like the Gem Pedals Rat, for example, which is very tight, very heavy, or like the King of Tone with both channels on. It's distorted, compressed, but tight. This will never sound tight, but it's crisp. It's bright when you want it. It's fuzzy, it's aggressive. You can get a lot of texture. So let's hear the Purple Faze with all the volumes, and then hear the Gem Pedals Fuzz Face. So you get it, why I say a fuzz pedal is probably all you need. Let's test the Gem Pedals, the Fuzz Face. Killer pedal. And I found out, I thought about doing this episode because recently I did a gig with Budda Power Blues, my band, playing Hendrix. We occasionally, once a year, do this gig where we play just Hendrix. And I took my Super Reverb just for fun because it was a club. I wouldn't take the Marshalls. I'm not a Marshall guy. I'm more a Mesa Boogie or a Fender guy. And I took the Super Reverb with its cleanish channel and one of the fuzzes, I think it was the Analogman, yeah, it was the Analogman BC183, and did all the gig with not turning off the Fuzz Face, just playing with the volume to get the little wing cleanish tone. The wind cries Mary. Then if you want a solo, and I'm on 3.5, because if I'm on 10, and this, my friends, is the magic of a great Fuzz Face pedal, as these two are, as these four are actually. I'm just focusing on these two because they are brand new, and I got it for my collection. I have a lot of fuzzes. These are all my four favorite, and the Roger Mayer was the first Fuzz Face I had. I loved it. I loved it a lot. I just don't use it anymore because it's very big and it occupies a lot of space on my pedal boards, but I really love it. The Analogman is a little different because it's a silicone, as I told you, but these two pedals are just incredible, and they can get you a lot of different textures just by playing with the volume. That's it. Great pedals. The Fuzz Face, the Jam Pedals one, claims to have a special kind of military grade transistor, germanium transistors in it, and it doesn't have a bias adjustment, so it's also very different. They say it is a lot more trustful because germanium pedals usually vary a lot with heat, depending on the temperature of where you are. If you leave your germanium pedal on the sun, it will sound like crazy, completely messed up. So this is why Jam Pedals made this one with special op amps, with special germanium transistors, and they all sound really good. The whole goal of this episode is just to try to motivate you, to inspire you to play fuzz pedals, because they are great. And it took me a long time to figure out how to play into fuzz pedals, because it is kind of an instrument. You need to play for the pedal, not play guitar and click it on and off like an overdrive. You need to hit harder the guitar, you need to clean up with the volume, you need to be finding and searching for sweet spots for great tone with this kind of circuit. Just great. That's why I say fuzz is probably all you need. Well, that's it. I hope this has been helpful. I hope you have liked the show. If you haven't done it yet, for some reason, please do it now. Subscribe the YouTube channel and share it with all your friends. Click the bell to get notifications of new episodes. If you want to support the channel, support what I'm doing here, you can donate for the PayPal account. And we'll see each other next week. Bye-bye, my friends.